European swagger, my chest got a tank full of gas. My ass is so thick, you can't see the bags. You like what you see, don't you? Well, I'm...
Greetings, everyone. We are live. We are live today on the Team Money Cycles Rhythm and Rods podcast. With I have 5 special guests today. 5 special guests. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about motorcycle audio judging. A hot topic today in the motorcycle audio world. So as we get viewers jumping on now, we're going to dive in to this. But I'm excited, man. I got 5 of the industry's, I'm going to say, professional and top judges with a ton of experience. We probably got over 1,000 plus, I'm going to say 2,000 plus experience in listening to different motorcycles all around the country. So without further ado, starting at the top from Xotic Customs, if you could, you guys introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about how much experience you have in the game. I'm going to be the producer, so you'll see me looking at stuff on my phone, monitoring Facebook, as well as doing some other stuff behind the scenes. So let's get it going.
Good evening, guys. I'm Serge from Xotic Customs. I got about 24 years in motorcycle building, about 6 years in motorcycle audio. I've judged the SOS platform only, probably listened to 1,500 to 2,000 motorcycles since, I guess 2020 is when I started judging.
All right. Next up,
I'm EDROCK from New York. I've been doing car audio period for over 35 years. Yes, 35 years. Judging, I've been judging car audio.
Old as hell.
Yeah, the Grays. I've been doing car audio for years, judging car audio shows, all across the state, even in Philly at the Platte, so, we got our own little thing called Street Talk, Street Battles, which is something similar to what Rickie's doing, which is, go online, talk, and then battle. It don't make a difference when. And, I've been doing this for a minute. For motorcycles, I think like what Joey put me in there, and Rickie and Grudge Fest. I forgot what year it was.
Like
and I judged the King of the Hill by myself. Nobody knew who I was. and it was a lot of bikes on a Sunday, and from there it was on.
All right, appreciate it. That's EDROCK Customs out of New York.
I'm Joey Hensley. It's Backyard Baggers, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Did my first audio bike in 2009, and first show was in 2012. Cars and stuff like that's been ever since I was 18 messing with cars and stuff. But I think when I was about 25, I put some speakers on a 4-wheeler. You couldn't tell me shit. So you can't tell me nothing now. What are you talking about? But yeah, that's what it is. So we've been doing this bike stuff for a minute. I've been rocking with y'all for a long time.
All right, that was Joey Hensley. Next up.
My name is Geo, out of New Jersey from the Elite Custom Motorcycles and Audio. We are currently in our 7th year doing custom motorcycles and audio. I've been judging for Team Money Cycles for the past, say close to 4 years, 3 to 4 years. And that's the only platform I've judged in. And the other platform that I currently judge for was Bagger Nationals, which was the fall rally and the spring rally for Daytona.
All right, thank you, Mr. Geo. Last but not least, Funkster.
Hey, Tyrone T. Funk Cox. I've been judging for about 8 years, about 10 plus platforms. So literally I started out just with a good friend of mine, Dion, with Uptown Motorsports. So he allowed me the chance to try it out at Myrtle Beach one time, and I kind of got the bug and the rabbit hole, and we all know how that goes. So Started a group called Beats, Bags, and Bass, and I kind of use that as a magazine for everybody to just dump their stuff in, and we can all look at something in one place. So, but about 8 years judging, about 10 plus platforms, and still going.
All right. So listen, I'm Rickie Will, Team Money Cycles. I got involved in motorcycle audio back in around 2013. I've been in car audio since around the age of 13 or 14 years of age. Just being interested in it. I had a neighbor who was into it. And I'm a musician, been a musician pretty much since about 4 or 5 years old. Always had a love for music. Was able to start the Team Money Cycles brand in, I want to say, February of 2015. I've had the opportunity to work with each and every individual on the podcast today in a close setting, from seeing Surge building in a shop back when he was doing the drop-in sub boxes before the big companies started producing them. I remember he was doing it back in like 2012, to hooking up with EDROCK, not knowing who he was personally, but his reputation superseded itself in the car world, to actually being able to work with him as a fabricator, installer, as well as a judge and tuning and whatnot. I think I probably tuned with everybody on this podcast. Joey Hensley and I met, clicked from day one, hosted shows together, traveled together, worked together in different capacities since about 2016, 17, Joey?
As far as working together on the shows, yeah, but shoot, it was like 2013 we met at Myrtle.
Yeah, we met down Myrtle.
2014 area when we did the first show.
Yeah, so we go back some time. Geo, I remember Geo starting as, I'm going to say, a rookie in the game, talking to me in the parking lot down in Daytona, working to be able to sit with the best of the best, and he's earned his keep and definitely worked his way up. And Mr. Tyrone Cox, one memory that stands out with him, besides seeing him down at the Uptown Motorsports show, and many of us, myself, Joey and I, we all were there in attendance, Surge as well. Tyrone playing the air bass down at in Maryland before he had the beard.
He was a tool man.
Yeah.
Snap on.
Snap on man.
He wears a lot of different hats. He's listen, man. To sing T-Funk become a pioneer in the industry, as the rest of you guys growing into an installer, tuner, educator, and whatnot. So I salute all of you guys for taking time to come on here today. What we're going to dive right into, guys, is we're going to talk about judging. The good, the bad, the ugly, but more importantly, how can we talk about where we started, where we are, and where we can move forward to. My goal is to try to find solutions to the problems, or not even so much maybe the problems, but just making the whole industry better. And the only way we can do that is to have conversations like we're doing now with industry experts. All right. So can I put y'all on the hot seat right away?
Yep.
All right. Let's see.
First.
Let's see where we want to start.
What do you say?
So we'll start with T-Funk, and then we'll go T-Funk, Geo, Joey, and we're going to back to Surge last. What do you listen for, and what captures you while you are listening?
Well, I think I've had this programmed in my head for a while. It's full spectrum sound, and enough of it as compared, to anybody at that time in the same place. So it's some people can call it special, or some people can say, well, how do you do that? Well, I'm just listening. It's human hearing from 20 hertz to 20K. And then when you listen to the next bike, does that compare to it? Does it, you said it recently, but I've been saying it a long time, but does it sound good? So full spectrum sound for me is what I start with, and then I start noticing different parts in the music.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Geo, what do you listen for, and what captures you while you are listening? What draws you in?
I mean, I could piggyback off T-Funk as well. But I mean, one thing that I do for myself, if you guys notice, most of the time I'll have sunglasses on while we're in the ring. Sometimes you could literally close your eyes and listen to music and actually feel music. And when you got a full spectrum, you got a bike that, man, the audio level of today is in another top. Man, we could go in another topic with that you have to do things differently to be able to actually hear a bike and notice the difference of every single bike that you are currently in the ring playing. So it's I mean, to me is and just feeling the music, feeling a full spectrum, hearing anything from high, mids to bass. That is basically what captured me while I listen to music.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Geo. Joey Hensley, what captures you while you were listening?
I'm big on impact. Like take for instance, everybody knows the song "Pretty Brown Eyes." If I'm in the ring and somebody hits me with that dun dun, and then it leads into the music, I'm big on that. I feel like it's an art to make a playlist. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can play music, but if you can play your music that lines into the beats of the next song that you're getting ready to play, that gets my attention right off gate. But I listen for everything, I listen for rattles. Everybody's going to have some type of rattle, that's a big thing I don't like to hear, but it's hard, especially the louder these bikes get and the more bass we have. But man, me going into the ring, I'm impressed right away with the music and how they're playing the music. We all listen for the bass highs and the mids. But that's just kind of, if it's boring music to me, I don't tune in that well. And that's bad to say, but a judge wants to hear music that gets them going. I'm grooving in my mind, but yeah, if that makes sense,
Mr. EDROCK, talk to us.
Well, for me, I kind of, want to make sure that the bike has a full spectrum, meaning I walk around the bike. I get on top of the bike, I go behind the bike, I go next to the bike, I go in front of the bike, and I want to be able to hear a full balanced highs, mids, bass, also in front of the bike, behind the bike, next to the bike. Some bikes, you stand in front of the bike and you don't hear nothing. Some bikes, you stand in front of the bike and they don't even got a tour pack and you hear it. So it just has to have a little bit of everything, The tweet has got to be on point. And then I like to hear the roll off, I like to see the 6s cut off and the 8s cut on, and just, some people don't understand when I tell them that. I say, I don't hear no separation in the music. I like to make sure, like Joey said, when it goes, din, 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 that's it, everything shuts off. Then everything goes back on. Some people, you still hear the tweeters playing, the 6s playing, the 8s playing, the compression horns all playing at the same time. No separation, no nothing. So, that's one of my main things.
All right. Thank you, Mr. EDROCK. And Mr. Surge, what do you listen for? What captures you while you are listening?
So when I'm listening, I'm looking for a well-balanced bike. So meaning I want to hear all of the highs, the mids, the lows. I step away from the bike to try to capture everything. I do the same as EDROCK, walk around the bike, try to get a 360 spectrum of the bike. Sometimes I don't focus on a complete 360 because it's very hard to place sound in different areas. I take account of it and I listen for just good quality sound. We all listen for rattles. We all listen for distortion. We all listen for people that overplay, underplay. I like to be captured just by good quality sound, even sound. Some guys get in the ring and the tweeters are screaming and they don't hear it. So those things capture my attention, and I'm looking for good quality, basically.
A lot of people underplay that you said that.
Yes, they do.
Rick called. Rick said something other. Where was we at? The black bike that played at the parking lot. You played her bike and turned it up.
Oh,
You
Keisha,
said turn it up next time. Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to answer the questions now I put up as well. What I listen for. So one thing Joey said, we both have in common. I'm an impact guy, and whether it's Pretty Brown Eyes, if you're going to play a song like Mint Condition, Pretty Brown Eyes, then I need you to capitalize and check the box on the impact that song has when it comes on. Now, granted, the musician in me also says every song is not going to come on that strong. So if it's a song with a piano interlude type of introduction, I need you to have the volume set enough where I want you to pull me in. When you're judging, when you're competing, pick songs if it has a smoother startup, not impactful, like Joey said. He likes that impact. Impact can mean a flam on the snare from the drums. It can mean a high note. Alicia Keys, when she has that song, I'll keep on running in love, whatever. Her voice is impactful. Capitalize on that. Draw us in. I listen to music as a weirdo. So if you say what am I listening for? I've taken every musician's part and I've placed it in the room by itself. The bass player, the percussionist, the pianist, the vocalist. While I'm listening, then I try to blend it back together, listening to your speakers. Like EDROCK said, are the mids doing what they're supposed to do? Are the highs over accenting the cymbal sounds, or the sibilance of the vocalist when they're saying all this comes into the tune, and that's what I'm listening for when I dissect it. So I think collectively we're all on the same page that we're looking for quality. We're looking for some form of quality. And just to piggyback, not to stay on it too long, what you said about rattles. Now that all the classes are sealed, the potential, and there's more power and more, the potential for rattles, I believe, are going to be there from the lower classes on up.
They are.
We have to, is your rattle, how much is it of a distraction is it? And we have to talk about later on what's the point value on it. I don't want to jump into it now, but I think rattle is like the main thing. People want to know how much are you being penalized for the rattle. For me, I hear rattle. If it's on, just say for instance, when it hits a 55 hertz note on Barris Hammond song, I can hear it. I can make a mental note or write it on but it's not destroying a guy's run. And if he's able to catch it on the bass knob or change songs, what's your word, T-Funk? That's being a good is that being a good maestro?
It is. I look at it like a bass clip light. Everybody agrees that a bass clip light, it's okay to see the light, but it shouldn't be continuous. So if I'm listening to a rattle and it's just blatant continuous, and you're not doing nothing about it, then that's going to be documented.
Is it safe to say, though, you got Joey Hensley and Geo in the ring, and both bikes equally sound good?
Yep.
But Joey Hensley has a rattle, and Geo doesn't. I think that is who makes the least amount of mistakes. For me, Geo,
I agree,
who didn't have that rattle, is going to have an edge on Joey. He came, if they're equally good, but one has a rattle, I think the guy who came more prepared and didn't have a rattle should be compensated in a good way for that.
I think it's a combination sometimes, because I can hear a guy who's listening and he's listening the way I'm listening, and he caught it and he fixed it. And then you get a guy that might not have a rattle because he may not be playing as aggressive. So he didn't even try, he's sandbagging. So it kind of like, depending on the situation, I'll start stacking up points either in, the direction because he's fixing it. Whereas the guy, he's just barely playing it enough to make it, get by.
Hold on, one. So, okay. Let me ask you this, Funk. You got the guy that's barely playing it, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the guy who's playing it, but he has a rattle, right?
Yeah.
Guy who you say is barely playing it, making no mistakes, do you feel like he's underplaying? If he's playing enough to be equally as good as the guy with the rattle, then the guy who's barely playing, to me, is the winner. Just because you fixed the mistake. Now, if you're saying that the other guy is not checking the box because he's underplaying it, now we have two guys making mistakes. But if that guy you feel as though is sandbagging, hey, if I give you just enough gas pedal to make it through the finish line, I ain't gotta run it all the way out the back door. If you making mistakes and I'm holding you off, right?
Well, it's full spectrum sound and enough of it. So I mean, if he's there with him and he got it and no mistakes, then you're right in theory.
But how about the bike that sounds good? So Geo sounds good, but he got a rattle. Little rattle, but he got a rattle. But he sounds good. But Joey doesn't sound as good as Geo with the rattle.
Right. So
does that rattle cause him to lose? Because that's the problem. Everybody, oh, you didn't hear that rattle? How he won if you didn't hear that rattle? I said, because the bike sounded way better. The rattle don't mean shit.
Well, here's
I don't believe.
Go ahead, sir.
Excuse me. I don't believe he will lose because of the rattle. So we're in the ring and we're listening for quality sound. So we know to block out that rattle and listen to the bike for what it is. We know that there's going to be rattles. We deal with these motorcycles every single day. The people in the crowd are screaming about a rattle because all they're focused on is it's rattling, it's rattling, it's rattling. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, when I judge a bike like that, as long as the rattle is bearable and it's not just like a bag blown apart, I'm going to vote for that guy if his bike sounds better.
So let me just piggyback on EDROCK said. EDROCK said, if the one guy is playing real good, but not as good with the guy with the rattle. So now the question is, what is the guy who does not have the rattle? What is he not doing? What boxes is he not checking that you feel as though the guy with the rattle is still better? And I think that's where
doesn't sound as good. Let's say Geo sounds on point, bass, vocals, everything, full spectrum. The bike sounds good, but he just has that rattle. And then Joey, bike sounds not as good as his. That means
and that's one of the things that I think confuses the participant. Okay, you say I'm not as good. Joey had a rattle. I'm telling you, we just said it. Oh, well, Joey had a rattle. Yeah, but you didn't sound as good. Okay, what boxes didn't I check that? Because you just pointed out what Joey's deficiency is.
A stronger bike. A stronger bike all around. A stronger bike, because you remember the Corvette bike. He had a rattle in the back. I mean, I knew the bike wasn't going to win because of the rattle. Right. We already knew that out the gate when he played his first song and he made it to the finals. Everybody was, how he made it. If he had that rattle, they made a live and a big shit over it. Even the guy that did the live had a rattle and a half on his and supposed to be the best fabricator of fiberglass there is in the industry. But his bag broke. So, how you're the best if that happens,
Come on, I hear you. We're gonna stay on. We're gonna stay in here. My thing is, if you tell a guy, Joey,
flip it back, Joey.
Joey bikes sound better, even though he had a rattle and you didn't sound as good. You have to be able to say, hey, you didn't check the boxes for me on your mids. They were muddy. Or, hey, your tweeters were too high. That's what I think the participants are looking for. Okay, I didn't sound good, but articulate to me why. Because in your head, you know why, but that guy, he's going to drive back home 5, 6, 7 hours trying to figure out the why, and you have it in your head. Mm-hmm. So I just think we collectively, that's one thing we do better at is giving them a why. Gio, you got something to say?
Nah, I mean, I think we could go on this topic for forever when it comes to the rattles or how you pick one person instead of the other one. But to talk about like what EDROCK said with that Stingray bike, right? The yellow bike. That bike to me was a very clean sounding bike. He played it very well until his bag came loose. And that's kind of where we go back to the distractions. I like as much as I wanted to look past that rattle, I couldn't. It was just there. Like any song he played, the rattle was there. So I mean, I don't think it took away from the bike in general, like overall how the bike sounded, but that at that point in time is like, man, it kind of sucked. It's like racing. Like in racing, you know, we left from the line neck and neck, right? And I missed one gear and you took off on me. And it's like, man, that day I wasn't the best competitor the best racer at that event. But it's just like, I think like you said, we have to be able to tell a person like, hey man, this is what happened. Your bike, the tweeter wasn't as much as it should have been, or the 6s weren't playing cleaner, or your 8s or something. Try to explain to them, but it is also a gift and a curse, because you try to tell them and then they go back and they tell the builder, hey man, listen, Geo told me my 6s suck. They told me that my 8s weren't good. And then you know, and we all talk to one another, and it's like he's ready to take his whole bike apart. And it wasn't that. It was just that day the song selection killed you. Man, sometimes volume control. A lot of guys, I brawl at the mall. A lot of guys went in there like, man, I'm gonna be inside. Let me not go as high. And I think that hurt a lot of guys in that event, because a lot of guys that when we hear outside and we're like, wow, man, these bikes are gonna shake off the lights in the ceiling here. Everybody was holding back a little bit with the majority. And then you sit there and you're like, man, crank this bike up. Like this bike plays a lot, has a lot more. But I think it goes down into basically the like, what Funk says, the maestro, the one behind the phone or the radio. It's like, it's just not what you have. It's not your tuner all the time. It's sometimes, man, we overthink the situation, and it shows. Many great bikes that, like, I've had customers that I've built bikes for that I'm sitting inside a ring and I'm like, man, like go up, or turn it down, and it's different. It's a process, and I think with experience, a lot of the guys who are the veterans in the game, when they get in the ring, you could tell the differences of how they play, how they control volume control, the song selection, the transition on songs is different.
All right. Appreciate everybody input on that topic. I changed the question only because we kind of segue right into it on what are some potential distractions while judging. So I think it's fair to say we've touched on rattles, from a slight rattle on a song, being able to catch it and work around it, to a continuous rattle, which is like missing the gear, as Geo put it in drag racing. What are some other distractions that you guys encounter when judging in the ring?
Well, I'll start with that. My biggest distraction is people in the ring and not moving when we need to get off of the bike to hear it. So we have a ring, say it's 20 by 20. They crowd us in and they're 10 by 10, and we're supposed to be listening to a bike. How? Move out the way. But it's not your fault. You'll tell them, hey, back out the ring. And as soon as the music starts playing and everything starts, that's a big distraction. Walking around people, because as Geo mentioned a little earlier, he closes his eyes. I do too. Sometimes, and as I'm walking to feel the music, and then I walk into somebody and everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy, or I get upset, and you know how it goes. That's my biggest distraction in the ring.
You know what? Before we go forward, it is, you could say put up barricades and all that, and that's great too. But it's just about being an adult and not being defiant. So an easy way. One easy way to do this is, if the person is in the ring is affiliated with the person that is competing, to just disqualify the participant. That's one great way to, because I'll see many people from the camps want to come in and kneel down or be close to the competitor's bike. There is nothing that you can scout at that particular moment in the ring that you need to be in the ring. So if your teammate or buddy don't want to respect the ring and the judges, the one thing I would say is we'll start just disqualifying the guy that's in the ring. And I think that one disqualification to make a point, I think will help solve the problem. Another thing is shop builders, and I can do a better job as a promoter, is this. You want to let people in the ring, you got guys who are affiliated with TMC or with the just with the culture itself. I'll try to kick you guys out. Most times I do kick you out. By the end of the show, I'm tired of kicking people out. I'm tired of policing the ring. But we'll just have to do a better job. I'll take that one on the chin of doing a better job.
Rick, excuse me to cut you off. It's about the respect thing. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes people in the ring isn't a problem because they will move. They will stand on the outskirts. They know where you're judging the bike. So if that lane is clear, the people on the side usually don't bother us. I think stepping behind the bike and in front of the bike are the biggest issues. And that's where everybody crowds in at. And respectfully, move out of the way. There's been plenty of times I've been in the ring. I know I'm watching a judge come my way. I will move so far out of his way to not be a distraction because I do it and I know what frustrates me. It's hard for you to police that and run the show. It's almost impossible.
Mm-hmm. It is. Somebody said give the judges tasers, sounding like Rickie for a few years back used to, and I'm just going to read some of the comments so that people don't think we're ignoring them. Rickie, a few years back, you used to gate off. Man, I've tried everything, and I like on certain grudges and stuff. I like the street race feel for the parking lot pimping, but when it's time to take care of business, I think collectively as judges, promoters, but also as the community, you guys that are sitting on here watching, you heard it from the judges what one of the distractions are. Let's all collectively as a culture try to be just a little more courteous. I know you want to hear the bites. I know you want to see. I know everybody want to feel like they're important and they have privilege to be in the ring. You heard it from the judges. You don't. I can easily bring Gary back. I could bring OG back. He used to do a fantastic job on policing the ring. I think I gotta call. Let me call. Hey.
2 pieces of the biscuit.
Bring the guy with the white beater back that don't smile. We didn't have any ring problems when Gary was around. I gotta tell him he gotta take off work on the weekends now. But we gonna get it, man. We gonna get it. Anybody else got any other distractions besides the crowd? No, just no other.
Man, that was easy. That was an easy topic.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let me see what other questions I got. We moving through these bad boys. Oh, y'all want to die? Y'all want to go here?
Bring it.
Oh yeah.
Glass.
Hey, you want me to start that one?
Points and score sheets, good and bad. What would you do to improve the system? Joey Hensley, you got the floor.
We can't hear you, Joey.
We can't hear you, Joey. Hold on. All right, try now, Joe.
I thought he was playing.
I thought he was playing.
They don't want to.
Hold on. Is he playing or is he serious?
Oh no.
We can't.
Check your mic, Joey.
Check your mic.
You probably cut the mic off in the bottom. Where it says more, click on more. No,
can you hear
not even more. Click on the bottom of your name.
He left out. He's gonna probably leave out and come back in. All right. While Joey's getting himself together, anybody else want to jump on this point? I'm gonna say you for last.
I like the points. A lot of people don't like the points, and someone on the live has said again, "Oh, but you judge 20 bikes. How do you remember the first bike that you judge?" That's the point. You're not supposed to remember. You're supposed to judge the bike at the moment and be biased. It's like I was talking to Rick the other day. When Zeus, Destroyer, and the other guy battled that day.
Can y'all hear me?
Now we can hear you.
There you go.
I was trying to talk on the other topic. It said the host has you muted.
Hold on.
Yeah, the host has you muted is what it said across my screen.
All right, hold on, Joey. I'm gonna come right back to you. EDROCK, finish your point, then we'll go back to Joey.
you know, when you judge by the points, you're judging that bike then and there at the moment, and then on to the next one. So it's not Joey battling Geo or Geo battling T-Funk. No, you're battling yourself. You're playing the best that you can play your bike at the moment to win.
Yeah.
So I like the scores because it makes it, you know, biased. Like I don't remember what I scored Joey. If I gave him a 9 or a 9.25, damn, I don't remember. I judged him accordingly when he played the bike. Now, if I gave Gio a 9.5, it's because he obviously had something better that Joey didn't have. That's why I gave him the 9.25. You know, the walk to the bike, I like it because it's quicker. It's the in and out, walk to the bike you like.
Oh, we ain't
go.
get to yet. Oh, don't go there. I got to stay on task, man. You got the question. Stay on task. You want scores?
Okay. Next, go ahead, Joey.
Joey.
Earlier we were talking about the judging and what we didn't like. And I've paid attention to a lot of this that I've been out of the ring for a while. I cannot stand someone's camp trying to get into the judge's ear to persuade them. You know, I hear it all the time. I heard it at Daytona. It's, oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Like, I've seen people do it to T-Funk. T-Funk can be in the ring, and I can hear two people from someone's camp who he's judging the opposite bike, and they will try to get in T-Funk's ear and be like, did you hear that rattle? Play it back. Run it back. Same song. I cannot stand that shit. I'm like, shut up. Let the judges do what they want to do. I know y'all have all had this happen, you know. Yep. That is the worst part of judging is the other person trying to persuade you to lean toward them. And I hear it all the time. You know, if I don't like something, I'm going to keep my fucking mouth shut, you know. But there's two certain camps that love to get in a judge's ear, you know. If I do any more shows, which I don't have any plans, I'm rolling with y'all. I'm going to let them know real fast. I'm going to start disqualifying people like you talk about. Oh, you said, oh, well, he's gone. You know, they do it one or two times and they'll stop doing that shit.
It's annoying like that. People, the judges get scrutinized, and I don't want to get off base, but I'm an advocate for the judges. And some of these comments are good. I'm gonna answer these questions too. I'm gonna go back. But you get heckled, you get shop builders or friends in the ring. Hey, did you hear that? It's like the sixth man off the bench in your ear. While you're trying to and I'll try to shield that. So a lot of times you'll see me talking to the people in the crowd. That's so they don't try to distract y'all and pull y'all over. Yeah. You'll see me running around. Hey, Ricky. I'm like, what's up, man? What you got? Got for me? Because I get it. The crowd wants some interaction. But if I don't go talk to them, trust me, they're gonna pull y'all over there because it's happened to me when I was judging. Like people just want to be a part, but Joey, like you're saying, when people's camp is trying to influence the judge, that's like the coach of a basketball team trying to influence the refs while they're out there making calls. You get a tech for talking to the refs at basketball games, right? For too much of that. Am I mistaken? Is that how sports go?
I don't know.
I think you get some kind of tech. Some of the sports people,
some penalty.
Yeah, you get some kind of penalty for. Is it like
there you go? Or something? There you go. That could be a new thing.
Anybody else want to share what they think about the points score sheets, good or bad?
They can be stressful.
I agree with that. Point score sheets to me are a little stressful. When you first start, you listen to a bike, and at that moment you think that bike sounds great. So the first bike may score a little higher. As you go through the bikes and you listen to bikes that sound better, I always second guess. Damn, did I score that right? Did that bike sound as good as I thought? Because now I get to bike number 10 and I'm like, man, this thing is on kill, but I scored the other guy 9 or 10. And I said, well, it doesn't sound as good. So to me, points are a little harder to do when I'm judging. I adapt very fast, and, you know, I always look out for it in the beginning. I try to hold back, but I don't think that's fair sometimes when you score with points to me.
All right. T-Funk?
Well, I think it's a tool like anything else. Of course, I've sold tools for a while, and I watch people use tools to be very efficient. what we're doing with these motorcycles right now are extraordinary. They are very, very, very good now. The same stuff we used to do is getting very hard. It's very difficult to listen to some of these bikes and say this one is better than that one. Even worse, if you're don't have the verbiage, you can't explain to somebody why this one is better and make them happy with that. So we need a tool, and with this tool, it still needs time for us to even learn the tool. So I don't want us to throw it away, and I know we have shortcomings with a score sheet, but right now I think we're being able to use this to say specifically, do I like these highs that you have on your bike with that minute and 30 seconds? Do I like your mids? I had very good audio people come to me and say, hey, look, man, why do you have mids and vocals? Well, once upon a time, they would just play EDM with no vocals, and it was recorded very loud. Made it very hard to hear a bike that had vocals in it to sound equally as good. So now the level playing field is you got to have mids and vocals. And now with the smaller bikes, you had the mid bass. So the mid bass bikes that were smaller, they either hit high or they hit low. Not all of them hit the same. So we had to separate that to say, okay, man, how did this guy get this bike that says mids are good and the sub bass portion of it is good? So it's a tool, you know. On top of that, we had to add a section because there are a lot of bikes that sound great. And then, you know, Joey can build a bike and he built the bike for middleweight, but he plays it and he can go in heavyweight and win. So, you know, it's a maestro situation at that point. So now how do we capture all of this information and use it as a tool to make these people better? That's the whole purpose of it. I understand that people don't like it. We need to figure out how we can get better at it. I can't give away my time like I used to show people because I'm doing other stuff. Right now, yesterday, I'm doing some continuing education to learn how to make that part better and better and better. So at some point, it's going to get to a place where guys only want to play, you know, I want to play against this guy and win, and that's going to be great. But as we get these bikes refined and they're going to play to such a point, the paddles and the king of the hills won't work. We need a metric. We need something. And like it or not, we're going to need something like that to, you know, show the difference between the bikes. So that's my take. I can do them all. I like them all. I think they all have a purpose. I used to be 100%, you know, against paddles or walking to the bike, but they all have places. If you get a guy that's just starting, I think it's great to walk to the bike or a paddle. But when you got guys that have been doing this as long as we've been judging, that's different. They don't want to hear that. You know, and some of these maestros are a lot better than some of the judges. That's my take.
Somebody made a comment that says score sheets are only good if the judges use the same range. I don't believe that at all. If you got 5 judges and everybody judges every bike the same,
it's a robot.
Then it's the same shit. It's like me. If I on my paper, if it's a 1 to 10, everybody that walks in that ring gets a 5. You automatically get a 5 from me no matter what you do. It's up to you to make that 5 go higher to a 5.5, to a 5.6, to a 6, to a 2, or you're going to go down to a 4.5 or a 3. Nobody for me is ever getting a 9 or a 10 because that means you're great and you have no room for improvement. I'm never going to give somebody a 10, you know. But if I score everybody's stuff the whole day, 5s to 6 to 7s, I'm the same if EDROCK scores 9s to 8s and T-Frunk is 3s to 2s. If everybody's the same, the numbers are going to be the same. Everybody don't have to give you a 9.5 or a 9.3, you know, to win. It just doesn't, you don't have to do that. I know they've been giving EDROCK a hard time, but I don't see a problem with the way he scores his numbers because they're all low, but everybody's low, you know.
EDROCK's my favorite judge, by the way. I just want to put that
Yeah,
up.
and it's crazy. And it's crazy because, like, I seen a comment there. Somebody said, put your name on a score sheet. How many score sheets did we have, Geo? A whole bunch, right? When middleweight was like 20-something classes, I put my initial on every score sheet it was, aside from extreme. And why I didn't put for extreme? Because I was inside talking with Matt, because I had a little break from judging, and then all of a sudden they call, say, hey, EDROCK, they're calling you. They need you in the ring right now. They're starting extreme. I ran right in the ring. Luisa gave me the clipboard right there. Bing, they let off, and I started judging. It's not because I'm scared to put my name on that I gave Munira 84 and gave this guy 95 or nothing. Not scared to put my name on nobody. It was just, and I'm getting penalized behind that. Oh, why didn't they put their name? I seen somebody put that. I don't know who put that, but they said, oh, but why didn't they put their name? I put my name on everything. It was just quick. I'm not scared to put my name.
Well, it's not hard to figure out who the judge is if they didn't put his name down.
Exactly, because Geo had his name and so did T-Funk. So that means it was me.
So my suggestion, which I had thought about doing this a few times, but I didn't. After these big shows, have a desk set up for all three judges to sit down, and all these complainers could get in a line, and they can line up and they can ask them right there in person instead of going fucking 10 hours back home and want to put it on the internet. Talk to them face to face. Why did you give me an 84? Why? Don't go home and type that joker up on the internet. You know, we'll have a judge's table.
It's like James Hendricks. He's my man. He asked me, EDROCK, what did you like about my bike? I said, when you pulled out the ring and the next people came in, once they lost and they pulled out, you should have grabbed me right there. Yo, EDROCK, I can't remember what you was lacking 15 bikes ago. Yeah. And I told him. He said, oh, but you didn't hear the bike muffling? And I said, the other bike muffling? And I was like, yeah, I heard it. But ask me that in there right after. Don't wait 20 bikes later. I'm old, man. I'm the oldest one here. Shit.
How old are you?
53.
You are. Yeah. I won't take that from. So listen. I'll answer this. Points and score sheets, good or bad. And I don't want to make this as an opportunity to debate you, T-Funk. But I will somewhat debate one thing you said, that paddles or walking to the bike is going to get to a point where it won't work. I think that any system that you implement in this audio industry will work. One reason I believe paddles will work, if you just take television, for instance, and I was doing a little research, I look at shows like American Idol. I look at shows Who's Got Talent, where they have professional music producers, musicians, singers. And American Idol, take for instance, they've selected individuals who possess a talent who have went on to become mega stars in the music industry, some of which we play on our bikes. And they don't use a number metric. They simply sit and, based on their own collective abilities and experience in the industry, they make a decision right there, whether it's hitting the buzzer, whether it's turning a chair and whatnot, and there's no numerical value put on it.
They listen with their back turned.
Well, American Idol doesn't. American Idol looks you right in the face. So if we're talking about a show that's been on TV for 20, 22 years, they pretty much do it the same way we do. They sit, and for a short period of time, they listen, and a shorter period of time, they're faced with making a decision and critiquing you on what you did or did wrong. And when I looked it up yesterday, even those experts say they leave the show at times and hope and wonder if they made the right decision. So with us, when we go to points, and like I told what do you think about having blindfolded judges? I'll come back to that. I just got distracted reading the comment. I'll get back to that. Let me just pick something up for a minute. And T-Funk, I'm not saying, I know you're an advocate for points, so I think that your way of your stance on points will work, as well as what I like in paddles. I think there's a place for both of it. So that's why I'm saying I'm not using it to debate you, but I don't agree with you when you say the days of paddles will no longer be a thing. I don't agree with you on that. So I'll take a score sheet from Team Money Cycles, and I'm going to blow it up. This is a score sheet from TMC back in 2018. We were at Tobacco Road, Harlem. This is the middleweight class, right? So I'll blow it up for you if everybody can see. And give me 1 second. Let me get this banner out of your way. 1 second, folks. 1 second. Okay. So can you guys see this? The panel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So back in 2018, we pretty much had the same judging criteria that we have now, but take off the crowd influence and the creative design. And those two things, crowd influence was to try and appease the people that says, oh, the crowd should have a say so or whatnot. So we tasked the judges with being able to not only judge the bikes that were in the ring, but also judge what you think the influence they had in the crowd. And then we did the creative design for the guys who maybe couldn't sound that good, but they were good at making wires and tour packs look real pretty. We even threw a metric in there for them. So sound was based on 1 to 10, and crowd influence and creative design was based on 1 to 5, right? And I'm gonna get off of this, but I just want to just show you guys something. What we did was, and I'm not sure if any of you on here were one of the judges that day, but we explained what the criteria was. We made sure that the judges all spoke the same language, understood. Okay, like I looked at Bagger Nationals, like your score sheet, T-Funk. You broke yours down a lot more than this one, where you have from a 1 to 3, this from a 4 to 5, and what have you, is broke down. But I look back at this score sheet to see how consistency was. 95% of the sheet is consistent. As we get to some of the lower ones, I see two judges got a 6, a 6.25, and another guy got a 7.5. And the way we were able to do this with this score sheet, which was hell, and I don't ever want to go back to it, was reiterating with the judges what the language was, what each category was. And we used pretty much the same pool of judges, which allowed them to get acclimated with the system, and it was able to better reinforce the system to make it tighter. So if you guys just take a stand at the scores, for the most part, it's pretty tight within the metric. You only got one guy on one end of the spectrum, on another guy on the other end of the spectrum. How do I get this thing back down? Hold on 1 second. It's back up the screen. So the point I'm trying to make with that is, when you have shows, T-Funk, and you may be using judges who haven't took your class or doesn't know the language or know your curriculum on the sheet that they're given to use, or just haven't worked together. Joey was saying that everybody's not going to give a 9 or a 10. Chances are, you put all of us, this group right here in the ring, for the most part, we're going to be within a half a point to a point within each other.
I'm going to say this: that sheet that you put up, that's obsolete now. It won't work with what we're doing right now.
Why?
And I say that because you don't have enough time to read through it. I was looking at it just now, and it's like, I'm going to spend more time looking at that sheet than judging. So in my sheet, I tried to make it where it's a quick glance, where you can think and you can walk around. Also, when you think about some of the things we're doing as far as these bikes, how much better they are and how close they are, people are going to want to know, how do I get better if we're that close? And there's how we're going to tell them it's better with a paddle or walking to the bike. So it's the same as when you go get your child's report card. If you say one kid in the class is the best, how is that making anybody else better? So at some point, we're all going to get to a place where everybody wants to know where they are right then, or as close to it, and how do I get better the next time? Now, if I just got my head busted, I know I got to go do something, but I don't know what. Or if my camp, a lot of guys in the camp, some of those camps are big, but they're not good inside the thing as far as to compete with guys that have maestros that really can do it. So it might not be for everybody, but for some people, they want a metric. They want to see a report card, and they don't want to hear overplayed. They know they have a rattle. Everybody knows that. I watched Munir take his foot, this was way back in the day, and put it on the floorboard because he knew it was a rattle. And he wouldn't move. And I was like, that's genius. That means he's listening. So he everybody knows their bike.
Common sense. But I hear what you're saying, but
it is common sense, but we got guys with a base knob that won't touch it, and the bike is rattling.
But what you said was, let's go back, let's stay on top. What you said was, these won't work, right?
They might work for you, but there's some people that want to go to a high level, and they're going to need a report.
You say, this is obsolete.
Yes, that's way too busy. It confused me when we used it.
Hold on a minute. Hear me out.
Yeah.
This is just a result sheet. This is not what the judge is writing in. This is just the results. Judge 1, 2, and 3. This is the standings that will go up.
I remember the sheet though.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
You said the paddles won't work because the people want to know at that.
I said they're going to be obsolete. Some people will be able to use them, but we're going to have a group of people that want something better. Just like our equipment, people want the best of the best and what works for them.
Can I interrupt?
That's all I'm saying.
Hold on, Joey. Let him speak. He got to let me get it out. You end up at the same intersection, whether you use a sheet, whether you use a walk into the bike, whether you use a paddle. You're going to end up with two things: a winner and a loser. And you want and know what the end thing is. What can I do better? It don't matter if you use these or these. You have to be able to articulate to the people in the ring what you do better. When you get done with the paddles, guess what happens? The judges walk over and say, hey, man, I'll tell them if they did a good job, tell them good job. Right or wrong, fellas. You got to give positive reinforcement the same way you give negative comments. So the whole point of this, no matter what criteria we use, is to be able to give feedback. The problem is with the point sheet, it showed what is a 10 and what is a 5. Answer that. What's a 10? What is Joey's 9? What is EDROCK's 8? What is Surge's 5? What is a rattle worth? You, in order for the point sheet to be effective, you must first be able to hit a point value on what it is, right? And
so
then
the judges round in the meeting when we got together, we said the middle was a 5. We started a 5. That's a CVO with a boom audio or a rock setup sitting in the seat. That's pretty much full spectrum sitting in the seat. Now, as soon as you get off the bike, you're going to lose some fidelity on that bike. Highs are going to go, bases are going to go. So as soon as you walk off the bike, that's what that is. And your points are going to be reflected that way. So everybody understands that part. So when I hear a featherweight bike, I walk around the bike, it's going to be probably, if it sounds great, full spectrum, in my mind, it's going to be a 7 or 8, maybe a 9 if it's really, really good. Now, when I get a few bikes that are really, really good, to differentiate between the twos, I'm going to give them 0.25, maybe 0.5, 0.75, so on and so forth. We explained and talked about that before each show several times.
So with that explanation, explain to me this. Hold on 1 minute, Serge, and this is my last point. So with that explanation, because I like what you said, you explained what the 8s now. How is it that Geo and EDROCK scored 84s and 85s and you scored 95?
Well, because if you look at the score sheet, none of us know what the end result is. We go by each section. So when you look 1 through 10, go back and look at what the highs were. And it's an average. So a lot of people don't look at the sheet. They don't look at the rubric or how we're scoring it. All they're doing is looking at that big round number.
Customer, or are they the judge?
What's that?
When you say a lot of people don't look at the sheet, is it
the judges see it? The judges see it. But when I take that sheet and they take a picture of it, the only thing they see is that big number. They don't see that their highs weren't good. They don't see that They might not have played a song with good vocals. That's where a lot of your score sometimes comes from.
Right. I get that, but I just want to just explain this part to me about the sheet. If Geo and EDROCK had 85s and you had a 95,
yeah,
that's a 10-point gap, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
So what you got to do, what you got to think about is if I'm saying I like the guy's highs, I like his mids, I like his vocals, his mid bass, I like how he played the bike. He transitioned songs. Some guys play 2 songs, some guys play 3 songs in a nice sweet order, like they practice their rounds. So for as far as a maestro, they might have got more points from me. They didn't do that. And for me, if this is my sheet, I might be looking at stuff a little bit different or more in detail than they are. They like what they like. I like what I like. I also mentioned that I like how EDROCK judges. He doesn't just give you stuff just to give it to you. I might say that if you fix problems and I see it, I'm going to make sure I kind of add a couple of points to that. That's just me. So I can't make anybody else do that. I can't take that from anybody else. Some people absolutely say if it rattles, it's trash because this guy didn't rattle. How is it that he's got this many speakers, he's got that much output, but there's no rattle or very minimal?
So does that mean that if you're given instructions in the meeting that this is law and
there's no law. I'm giving you a format to where you can use the score sheet as you see fit. I don't want a robot. We should not all be thinking and looking the same. Like some people close their eyes. Sometimes I have to walk outside the crowd. I want to hear the end of that low frequency to see if it's in phase or out of phase. I can't hear that. I can't do that on top of the bike. Okay. And if you're a judge and you don't move away from the bike and you didn't do it, I might be judging to see if it's in phase or out of phase. Some of these bikes are in mono, some in stereo. I might decide that I like it sounds better to me because I hear a left and a right versus a mono. I might give you more points. I might not give you a 9 because your bike is in mono and it sounds flat. I can't give that level of detail to everybody. So that's something either he's going to have to learn or we're going to have to train on it. You're
I
never
got
going
2
to have
questions.
all your judges.
The complaints were that there was too much of a gap between Judge 1, Judge 2, and Judge 3, and the people picked that up. So I'm not saying points don't work. I'm an advocate for what works. So we're saying that if the paddles don't work, I want to know how do you tighten that matrix, that your metric up? Because you just said the one judge may think a rattle is trash, but if they adjust it for you, it's treasure. To me, that's a deficiency. That's a
good thing, I think, because you got a different type of judge. So if you go to one place where you're using a paddle and the guys just absolutely don't like nothing but the music in that particular state. So if you're playing hip hop and a good song and the crowd is good, but you got one judge that says that music that he played was trash, he's not going to go to that bike, and you're not going to know why. Nobody's going to know why.
So
we got to
my question.
Go and measure that.
Go ahead, Serge. I apologize.
I got a big question for y'all. We all have everything works. Walking to the bike, point and paddles all work. You know why? At the end, we still have to explain to every competitor when they ask us questions what deficiencies they had on their motorcycle. So originally, T-Funk, you said that the paddles will be obsolete and his score sheet is obsolete or old or whatever. We still do the same job at the end. No matter what the points are, just like you said, they look at the big number. So if that number is an 80 or it's a 90 or it's a 20, whatever it is, they want to know why that number is that way. They're not looking at the individual numbers, the highs were this, the mids were that. So we still have to do the same exact thing with every competitor.
It is not perfect, and I'm not trying to tell y'all it's the best thing, better than any of that. I'm just saying at some point, I think it's a better tool. And I think some of the ways we're doing it works in some places. I think in the future, as these bikes get better, and every year they get better, better, and better, you're just not going to be able to give a paddle. And then after they leave, how are you going to tell a guy if his bike is good or bad if you can't remember it?
Well, you tell them, just like the same way you tell them, you got guys that's looking at score sheets that's raising hell. And
but they didn't go to the judge and ask him. They're not asking me. Nobody
the judge write it down on the
anything that I judge. Not one person.
But how long? How? I'm gonna give you a suggestion for your score sheet, if I may. Put the notes Put notes down at the bottom.
You don't have time for notes. When we doing it that fast, they're asking me for score sheets, and the other bike is rolling in.
The same whole time out, fellas, because we wrote notes on the bottom of a score sheet now.
Yeah, and it takes too long, and it's not accurate sometimes.
Well, what's the difference if you walk over to the
because I can use a metric instead of writing a whole paragraph. So if you come back to me and ask me, T-Funk, why would you give Troy Milner a 9.85? Because the next best bike was the best bike I ever heard, and his was better than that, and he got a 9.75. So I don't need to write a note on that.
Okay.
I think Troy or whoever, he played his songs consistently. They were all about the same volume. It was a smooth transition. And when it was time for him to stop, he didn't play 10 seconds past. So I gave him an extra bit of points because he was in control. Now, these levels of how I get these numbers are difficult, and it's going to take a while. I can't ask EDROCK, I can't ask Geo, I can't ask anybody to be that detailed with it. That's just what's in my head, and I made the sheet from my head, so I think we can use it as a tool. You either can get better with it or go to the paddles.
Yeah, but one thing, like when we're talking about tools, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I could relate to tools. You know, we all use tools, right? So if for some reason, let's say we buy a tool from the Snap-on guy, right? And we don't know how to use it, and we can't ask the Snap-on guy or somebody to tell us how it's supposed to be used, then that's where you bought an expensive tool for nothing, right? Yeah. So if you were going to do a score sheet, right, and we look at it, and it starts from the top and how it's explained, you can't say, hey, everybody has to get it figured out because I did it for my liking. It has to be for like universal for everybody to understand it. We've had issues, right, with Bag of National with few guys go in and say, hey, I'm gonna give them a 5 because they told us, well, let's start at 5, and it was a confusion, right? So some guys adapt easier than others, but you know, to piggyback kind of the conclusion to all of this is still whether we write it down a 9.5 or 9.25, or we do a sound digital paddle or a BEMA paddle, is still going to be at the end result of us having to explain why we chose the other bike, right?
Yeah, but can you imagine explaining that after you forgot?
Yeah, no, but I'll tell you this. You know what? I judged Bag of Nationals with a point system, and I've judged SOS with paddles. I'm not gonna say 99% of the time, but big percentage, I could tell you what happened with your bike, right? Or why I didn't like your bike, right? And that's just me. It may not be all of us in the room that be able to do that, but for the most part, regardless of what works or what doesn't work, the main goal is to be able to tell people why we gave you this score and why you were why for instance, me and EDROCK gave an 85 and you gave a 95. That's the biggest question here is what that big you may say, hey, that's the judge's ear, they judge 85, but that 10-point gap, it causes you a win.
Yeah, like, I can understand there's a difference in that, but it's not a discrepancy. I tried several times to get all of the judges in one place, and that's impossible sometimes. And because I know that it's technical, and I'm a technical guy, so trying to make other people technical or learn it, it's impossible. But it's a tool, and you know, we get better at it. I think that the people that could use it might see benefits from it. And I think in the future, you know, that's how it's going to be, right or wrong. And we can debate it, who's right or who's wrong. But there are going to be some people that like it this way. There are going to be some people that like it that way. And it's not going to be whether it's the best thing for this and we're going to do it like this and we shouldn't do something else. I'm just trying to make something for some people that want that level of detail. And I know all the judges are not, I mean, we're naive to think we can run 2 platforms at the same time. That's impossible. And we've done it twice, you know, and it's not going to be without people having issues and problems. I know that. That's why I don't get upset about it. And I don't take this stuff personally. But I do know there's a huge potential if we figure it out and get it right. So that's my take. And I love the debate. And I think, I know we're probably going to a different question. I like the Facebook talk because I get people's real feelings about it. And some of these people, you know, they don't want to ask the judges in person. because maybe they understand that some of the stuff is their fault. They're not as good as they think they be, and they spend a lot of money. And they don't want to hear these critiques that, dude, you suck. You know, that was a horrible song. I don't know what your bike sound like because you're not playing it good. That's just the facts. But if I give you a report card, you might want to inch up way and get a little better. He said if I play songs and cut it off easy, he might give me more points. That's a start to me. That's all.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have anything on what's the score sheets, or did we cover this?
I have one thing.
Shoot, Joey.
T-Funk. Everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Somebody got some air in the background.
Yeah, something's going on. It's loud. It's
Probably my heat.
So-
cut.
Oh, that's your heater. Okay.
Let me shut it up.
So if T-Funk and you say paddles are obsolete, you know, we don't need to do that no more.
I'm not saying that, Joe. I'm sorry, man.
No. Listen. That was your opinion.
It's okay. You can feel
Yeah.
that way, brother.
Your judging and your score sheets, y'all designed this judging platform at Troy's with a bunch of people who come together. I guess you and Troy, whoever come up with these points. It's
literally all me, man, and they gave me a place to listen to the bikes and do the 5-star judging. That's it. I'm not gonna let anybody else take any blame or credit or whatever. You know, just I came up with it. They asked me to do it, and they wanted me to run it, and I said I'd do it. And
tell me this:
all the people that would participate with me, they came on board, and I asked, Geo, I asked EDROCK, I asked like at least 20 people. Half of them didn't show up, and nobody cared.
You asked me. You asked me to come. I couldn't make it. You did ask me to come. I couldn't make it. Here's my thing. Say Rick does nothing but points all year long, and then the last show he does paddles. Do you think there's anybody in the industry that's not going to go because he's doing paddles?
No, I think if you're competitive, everybody's going to go. But I do think at some point, this is just me speaking honestly, there are going to be some people that are going to get really, really good, and the paddles, they're going to be in a much better place. That's just my opinion.
So if Bagger Nationals did paddles next year, it's going to have the same participants, whether it's paddles or points, I feel like.
Well, they're going to go and they're going to show. But I mean, sometimes some of these people that see the value in it, it's going to show up there too. That's just my take.
Who are those people?
Well, I mean, how many winners are complaining about the points?
No winners complain.
I know, but I'm just saying. Well, let's ask them. I'm here for all of it. We're gonna ask the questions. Let's see. Do they have any complaints about the points?
They don't, because they win.
They left with heavy pockets. They're not gonna complain about no score.
Exactly. But I mean, it might be interesting to see, what they thought about it. Because I mean, we're gonna ask the people that literally sometimes, I mean, we're talking to people that either don't really compete a lot or haven't competed in a while, and they're really not in the ring.
I'm gonna tell you all the systems will work. T-Funk, your point system can and will work.
They all work.
The paddle, yes, they are. All right, they are working. However, we've seen it.
Yeah. 50
points, 90 points. We've seen 40-point deficits. There is room to improve the metric.
Absolutely.
There's room to improve the metric. And I'm saying it. Listen, I threw it out there to tell you, I know 2018, we did it. This is a team motorcycle sheet from 2018. You can look at the metric, which you say is now obsolete, but it's still the same judging criteria that we go in today. Sound linearity, tonality, no matter what do you call it, it's being judged on sound quality. The numbers don't lie if you look at it. But like Geo said, no tool is effective if the person who hands you pitting are not properly trained. We just saying that let's just put more training in this whole thing that we're doing. That's all we're saying. The end result is the customer wants to know, what can I do better? That's it. But we beat the dead horse. We're gonna move on to walk to the bike you like judging. How do y'all feel?
I love it.
Is that even a hot topic anymore?
I love it. I think I started it, to be honest with you.
You did.
I love it, but sometimes I've had an issue with it because I've had some judges in the ring that hesitate. They want to see where the next man's going. Fuck that. Look your head up in the air and walk toward the bike you like. I don't want you to look. I've had seen people line up in 3 rows and they'll follow. If it's someone in the ring who's not confident with their decision, they will follow someone who they think is confident. I don't like that.
I was going to.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I see that a lot, almost all the time. They'll wait till, a judge, me on purpose. I'll look in the wrong direction. I'll turn around backwards. I'll get on my hands, everything. Because
I've went to a bike before and bobbled and went to another one just to mess with people because I already knew where I was going.
Yes.
But
is that right or is it wrong? I don't know, but people love that more than a judge literally saying, I don't like this bike and giving them a score that reflects that.
Well, I think that's a judge that shouldn't be judging because they're not giving the competitors an honest opinion. That's how I
know. I can tell you this.
They're not listening for themselves. They don't want to be scrutinized for picking the wrong guy, but
they just want to be in the ring.
You hear. They want to be in the ring. But you have to judge what you hear.
Serge, I'm gonna tell you, this came to me, and I'm not one of them people that like to just, pillow talk or talk behind people. I get it all the time. Man, I don't know which one to pick now, man. Judges.
Wow.
Judges.
Yeah.
And
I don't like the talking. I don't like the huddling.
That's normal. And then on one platform, it's okay with, and I know how, Joey, you and Rickie feel about the judges talking in the ring.
I don't like
but sometimes we talk in the ring, but we understand we're not trying to affect each other. We're trying to understand what happened. But I've also been places where we shouldn't be talking, and they had no clue. And they just stand there and wait, and whichever one they think, or the crowd. I've been in the ring where they actually went to the crowd because they just didn't know for themselves. And I said, it's okay. The platform says that's cool.
Free plug. You know how, if you do 1, 2, 3, shoot them up, it ain't hard.
And that's where the paddles came from. That's where the paddles came from. That's exactly where they came. And so now I'm a historian because I know why things were introduced and why they are playing in it. I've been in it long enough to see when things were introduced and why. And for my lack of better words, it's probably not obsolete, Rickie. I don't want to say it like that. But things change. Like one of the things I used to love about that sheet was I love to open the tour pack and see wires. And immediately after we went away from that, right at the next show, it was dust, it was dirt, it was cucumbers growing out somebody's hand.
Damn, not cucumbers.
and Funk, let me just, not to beat a dead horse, I want to see the system that you have implemented and that you're working on. I want to see it work, and it needs to work. That's why we're having a spirited debate in front of everyone, but make no mistake, like I said, I like how you have it broke down at the top, but I still think that there's going to always be room for us to improve, even with the way we articulate. And that's going to happen with conversation, discussions like that. People are saying more qualified judges. Well, the only way to have more qualified judges is to step up and want to be qualified and learn it and be a part of it. And you're going to have some on the job. We got over probably 10,000 listens collectively of bikes. We all didn't get to where we are now by starting to do this yesterday. We all started somewhere. So we have to have some grace for the newcomers. You can't have a new guy in there who's trying to learn it, and the first time you don't agree with his decision, you cussing the man and you ain't giving him no grace. Now you ask him to come in and do it again, and he like, the heck with it, it ain't worth it.
Well, I have to give up because I get judges that come in, and these judges now want to be maestros. They've used what they learned judging, and now they want to be a maestro. And I'm like, well, so I'm actively recruiting for judges to be strong judges, and then they go right back to doing, what they used to do, and it's difficult for me. So I'm not giving up, and absolutely, I'm here for all of it.
Yeah.
And I need help. And I would like to help because it's not for me. I'm trying to give it to us. That's all. I want to just use that as a different tool. I do want to give it out, but I don't have the time to give everybody that level of all the time. So when we go to the shows and we have the events, I want to do more breakfasts. EDROCK, that was great. We missed you, Geo, but I want to do one on Friday and Saturday. And if anybody wants to come, we're going to be just like this, but in person. We'll have a bike out there. We'll show it. If somebody can volunteer a bike, I'm all for it. I'm not giving up. And I have very thick skin, so I'm okay with it. So.
All right. Anybody else have? I got one more topic. One more topic. Complaining participants.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about negative comments from folks you deem friends when you are not wearing the judge's hat? Let me explain this. T-Funk, you the greatest guy in the world. You the best. They telling you. I just T-Funk for president 2024. Geo, you a nice guy. EDROCK, you a great fabricator. Joey, oh man, I love your builds. Rickie, you throw the best shows. But the first time you give what is supposed to be your honest opinion, articulation of such, folks are
he's a piece of shit.
Okay, you everything but a child of God on Facebook. How does that make you feel moving forward, providing the service?
Can I start real quick? And I know I've been long-winded, but I'll keep this one short.
I got two more.
I struggle with that a long time. And I understand when you got people from certain camps and they go out to judge and do different things. It is difficult, because you got to go back home to them people. You got to go back to the nest with these guys after you, somebody just got ran over from your camp, And my thing is, I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to feel great tomorrow, knowing that I gave my best judgment. And, if we break up as friends, that just means we wasn't friends before then. Sorry.
T-Funk?
Yeah.
You want him to go again?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, not T-Funk. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at some of these comments and get them up.
He won't listen to me.
T-Funk, you have a very, very hard time with dealing with these people and going back home to the camp. I got you. I'm multitasking. Go ahead, Rock. What you got for me?
He skip me. I'm brainstorming right now.
Oh, all right. Serge. Let's hear from Serge.
So for me, people have to learn to just listen. I mean, if you ask for my opinion, I'm giving you my opinion. So if you feel a way about my opinion, don't ask. I mean, that's my biggest thing. You want my opinion, I'm going to give you my opinion. And sometimes I don't have opinion besides it wasn't your 90 seconds. And that's not good enough either. They don't want to hear that. They want to know, what do I have to do? Do I have to turn it up? Do I have to take it back? Do I need more tweeters? Could I play speakers here? Listen, I'm going to give you my opinion. I don't have a problem giving people my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I just,
I can't see who this is. I'm going to scroll through my phone comments to see who this is, but who is this? Fade to the music. My man, Rich Johnson. There are a lot of good judges, but not all good judges are integral judges. So I won't put you on the spot, but when I see comments on here like that, questioning a person's integrity, me as a promoter, I need you to A, hit a name to the judge, either publicly or privately. And personally, and Rich Johnson, my man, personally, if you're not going to say it, the name publicly, then send me the comment and the name privately. Because an open comment like that with no name attached to it, to me, is just like hot air. it has no substance. If you feel if we're going to go that far to say an individual does not have any integrity for something that you ain't gonna be able to pay a bill with, that's a serious problem.
Rick, we talked about this earlier on a different topic. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So listen, and this is going to be another podcast with the builders in the industry saying, "Oh, that's shabby work. Oh, we need to do this." It's easy to point the finger. Give me some solutions. So if you say a person doesn't have integrity, okay, who is it? So I need to go and look at it and find a solution and investigate at which point did you think T-Funk, Geo, Joey, Surge, or EDROCK didn't have integrity? What particular round, what score sheet, what paddle? And we're going to go back and we're going to examine that. And if I find that, you know what, there's some finding in what you said, let me give T-Funk, Geo, whomever, Joey, Surge, whoever the judge is, let me give them a call. T-Funk, if it's on your watch, then you will be tasked with the job of pulling that judge to the side or looking back at their scorecard to see, you know what, they're right. There's a discrepancy here. There is now I ain't gonna get into it because then I had to eat crow and say the person's name, and it ain't about that. Moving on. If we're going to say things like that, we got to be prepared to get a name on it.
Yeah.
It's bad with everything with the pointing fingers.
Integrity. I'm sorry. He said integral. My apologies. Go ahead. Somebody.
When I go to these shows, I just love it when I get there and everybody's, "Oh shit, it's good seeing you. You judging? Yes. Oh man, thank God. And they're happy. Okay. Then you see them liking the lives and commenting and liking the other people's negative comments. And, I don't respect it because you know what? When they do their lives, like you said, Rick, they don't say names. They don't say like, "Oh, all these judges." So that means all these judges, that means includes me. So
ain't but so many. Ain't but so many judges.
Right. There wasn't no good judge. That's it. All the judges sucked. Because we didn't choose the bike of what they liked or what they heard. I don't give a shit. Personally, when I came into this game, I came with a backpack on, my baseball cap, and showed up to the first SOS in Daytona at I forgot which one it was. I stood there, I heard the bikes, I liked it. I came by myself, I leave by myself. I don't give a shit if you like me after a show or not. You know how many people called me? One guy made a spectacle, called Cody, called this guy, called like 5 different peers and said, "Yo, this guy did this," to later on realize that they clicked the wrong tune, on his bike. And what I said was valid. Just like, again, the same person this weekend at the show asked me, "Hey, why didn't I win? Your base was great, but you didn't go high." "Oh, man, I wanted to be a little safe." Nobody told you to play safe. You came here, you hit it. You don't know, you play to win. People come and tell me, "Hey, I like you. Yeah, New York, yeah. Then all of a sudden, next day, they don't say hi to you. They pouting and got a face and make it. Hey, you know what? I don't give a shit. That bothers me.
I get that at shows when I was doing shows. People want to come up and talk to you and who's your judges and all this, and then they want to friend them and just chop it up. But they do that to get in the judge's head like, "I'm your best homie." I see this at other people's shows. I tell my guys, don't talk to the judges when you get to the show. Stick to your game. Don't worry about, you ain't got to go dap up everybody in the ring that's a judge to let them know you're there. We all know you're there.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting ready to call your name. But
we all sit out and eat, drink beer and whatnot. So I'm gonna go out my way to try to hurt the dude that I just was standing up. And if you think, hey, listen, one thing I can say, I got to give a guy credit for it. The guy had balls enough to do it. Munir walked over to EDROCK before the battle and said, "Hey, we're going to be able to do this." I'm not saying I agree with his approach, but like 2 men, am I lying, EDROCK?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you going to be able to...
Am I going to judge you fairly? I said, yeah, I love this sport. I'm going to judge everybody fairly. That's what I'm here to do.
And then
I'm not going to not pick your bike because of something. I never had a beef with the guy that I don't like his bike or him personally because he did something to me or said something about me. I'm just honest, and some people just don't like my honesty. I'm
But-
going to tell you what the bike did, what you did wrong, and some people might not like it.
But he came over and he asked you,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought both of you guys in because it wasn't for everyone to see and say, hey, listen, fellas, I don't know what show was that he didn't like the decision, but we're here now. Are you able to do your job? Yes. Are you able to do your job? Yes. Are we good with everybody doing their job in this setting? Yes. If one of you guys would have said no, I would have went to the organizer at Bag of Nationals or T-Funk or whomever in charge and say, hey, so we can avoid a potential discrepancy later on down the line, we're going to tag this judge out and we're going to sub somebody in. I appreciate those conversations. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that because a guy may have a bad taste in his mouth about a previous show, and we got to hash those out. It doesn't happen often, but if that happens, we need to be able to get in front of it. It's much easier to say, and I will hope you judges didn't take it personal. Hey, Joey, to avoid any conflict and keep the integrity of the show, because it's about the greater good of these organizations, I'm going to tag you out, Serge. You're in. Geo, you got a bike coming in that you touch. Geo, these guys will sell themselves out. Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
I can judge that guy, but I'm a recuse myself. T-Funk, you in for it.
And before we got to judging, didn't I tell you that, T-Funk?
Yeah.
When I said, listen, I'd rather not judge that round because I know he feels a certain way.
Yeah.
So I don't want to judge it.
That Joker held a grudge since 2022.
Yeah, it's a grudge fest.
He ain't seen him in 2 years.
He's even 2 years over LeBron's bike. He said, "Whoa."
And what I told you, T-Funk, right? And what was everybody's answer?
Yeah.
That no, you're still gonna judge. It's not like before that somebody could walk in the ring and say, "Oh, I don't want him judging," and we're gonna listen to that. I'm getting paid to do a job, and I'm gonna do my job. And I was picked because of a credible, I'm a credible judge, and no, you're judging. Okay, no problem. So I did it.
All right, I got one for you. We're going to move. I got two more, then we out here. Parking lot pimping versus organized shows. Is there any difference in our shows needed?
Huge difference.
It's a big difference. Shows are needed.
I agree.
Huge difference.
I like the parking lot pimping, but the shows kind of give you the status or the credibility. If you just beat somebody at the gas station, it's just whatever.
But how do you beat somebody in the gas station, though?
Huh?
How do you beat somebody in the gas station?
The crowd dictates that. I mean, that's what the crowd loves. If you stand on the bike and everybody's going on, well, you did that in your base.
Yeah, because everybody's just gonna say, "Yo, you heard that blue bike? That shit tore everything up."
That's why they're upset, because they're not getting that same energy that they got from the parking lot last night at this show.
Yeah.
But they played for 45 minutes straight, and the bike was warmed up, and the songs really did sound good. That's how it started for a lot of us. Parking lot pimping, going to where we let it hang. But when you have to say, turn it on right now, and you got a minute 30 seconds, some people are not good at lining that up. And they in their feelings about that. They play these long, drawn out Phil Collins songs that never get to the part, and we're supposed to judge them on that.
Not the Phil Collins song. Hey, Jay Gennaro's the world's worst for. He can play the hell out of his bike in the parking lot.
What?
That Joker will get off.
But he's my man. But yeah, it's true.
Hey, I'm telling you, but man,
he could demo a bike good on the side under Joey's tank, then go in the ring, and Joey's like, "What the fuck?" And Joey runs off.
That's actually a tactic for some people. They will actually want the judges to come over there to hear the bike for about 5 songs, and we're supposed to remember that when they get in the ring, and they're supposed to get credit for that. When they play and miss the whole song and completely fall on their face.
Hey, Kevin Murphy said it best, right? When the rule changes came out, there was a parking lot pimp, leave shows, sell everything. We go into the parking lot campaign. And I just was like, oh, okay. Kevin Murphy said, to all of y'all, think y'all gonna go to the parking lot and that's it? When we leave the shows and we done winning and whooping you know what over there, we come to the parking lot. And we're going to beat y'all up over there, too.
Yeah.
when I envision that in my mind, right? The same people I see getting beat up in the ring, they get beat up at the gas station too.
By little bites. By little bites.
By little bites.
Yeah.
Like, if you bad, right? Oh, I'm bad in the parking lot. Nah, if you bad, you bad.
Rick.
Because an empty wheelbarrow make a whole lot of noise. That's all I'm gonna say.
Check it out. After Dark Underground at Maryland, After Dark Underground at Maryland, or at Rockingham, or whatever, and Johnny Lockyer go out there and win the whole motherfucking race, and then 2 hours later he's in the street.
Yep.
You know what?
Racing,
whooping ass.
Yep.
So all these people stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh, we gonna go tear the parking lot up. Oh, we didn't. Nah, you gonna get your kicked in the ring, and you gonna get your kicked in the parking lot. Yep. Period. If you bad, you bad. I see, man. Don't get me started.
Get started. The people want to hear you get started. Let's hear it.
Shout out to Sound Digital and Bama. Shout out to Sound Digital. Nah, because it just, I'm like, am I on Mars and everybody else is on Earth? And we all talk about this. Every camp has had their fair share. A BYB went on an A whooping. I'm gonna call it an A whooping spree. You got Audio Concept on an A whooping spree. Blaze been on an A whooping spree. You know what I'm saying? Geo came out with bikes in his respective classes, went on an A whooping spree. You had Bag of Boys, Winter Circle, my man Lee with his heavyweight Road King winning. Like, I could run off a whole bunch, and if I didn't say your name, don't say Rickie was saying favoritism. I'm shooting from the hip. Yeah. But
every camp has had their day.
Then I hear, oh, we parking lot gangsters. Well, what parking lot you at? Send us the address, because when we over here, y'all must be over there. Show me. If you bad, man, come to a show and get a trophy.
Yeah.
Because anybody who signed up on that sign-up sheet, oh, they coming to win. Now, you hear people say, oh, I'm here for just for fun. No. If you turn that win light on, you're going to be winning and grinning. So stop the nonsense with these judges. All the judges don't know what they're doing. No. You don't know what they're doing, what you're doing. Because these guys right here have been getting it right. Now, I ain't going to say, y'all, I agree perfectly with all the scores, but collectively, I respect all of y'all work wholeheartedly. As a promoter, y'all dudes do a hell of a job. And I enlisted myself in this fight to bring y'all on because I just didn't like what I was seeing get posted about y'all guys that ain't had nothing to do with the SOS, because somebody needed to let y'all know y'all do a heck of a job. Y'all could be doing a whole lot of other stuff. People say, do the judges get rest? No. Listen, judges, T-Funk is on, he the union, getting y'all paid. I don't mind paying the judge, but I'm going to let you know, registration fees will go up.
I heard that right.
Because
he said, you ain't getting in my pocket.
I have deals worked out with these two guys right here who judge. There's an incentive. Trust me, nobody's doing it for free. T-Funk, we didn't have pay scales established, but whenever you went on the road, T-Funk and I had a conversation whether he was towing my trailer for me, whether he was coming. T-Funk, you good? You need this? EDROCK told me don't send him money because he loves it, and I sent the guy money, and he told me I didn't have to do it. So I appreciate you guys. But if we go into this set pay scale, I'm going to tell you I will add it to the SOS expense. Okay? When we play basketball, you had
but you know what?
You know what? Expense.
If you add it to the entry fee, nothing's going to happen. Everybody's still going to come. They're still going to pay their entry fee. You can't buy $100 tweeter and complain about a $50 entry fee.
They do, though, Joey.
I know.
They do.
I've seen it. But I guarantee you right now, if you go to the next show, Rick, and the entry fee is $100, they're going to enter it.
That's what
my guys are going to enter it. I'm going to enter it. I mean, you know,
I had somebody tell me. I had somebody tell me, man, I drove 8 hours all the way over here. I spent whatever $600 in gas to bring my bike and whatever for this shit. I said, motherfucker, I drove 18 hours, paid for a hotel, brought my wife and my daughter. They ate their asses off. It cost me more than it cost you.
And just to judge them, you're not even competing. You're just judging them.
I'm judging it for this.
For the love. For the love.
What's wrong with you? Like, is it worth it getting bashed and getting talked on and people? Listen, I look at it and I say to myself, you know what? I let them carry on because my health right now. Oh my God, I wish I was. Oh man, should have been different. But you know, sometimes you gotta bite your tongue because you know we all are somebody in this industry. No matter if they hate us or not, whatever, there are people that.
I guess this signal got weak.
Yeah, we gonna bring him back there. His Wi-Fi went on. We gonna keep it moving. All right, hold on. I got one. I think I got one more topic.
his blood pressure got high.
He pop alone. Let's pop rock. All right, last one, guys. Last one. We're gonna bring it home. Shows not having universal classes. Does it affect your ability to judge?
No, I don't think it affects your ability to judge.
No, because I put it all on the platform. As I see it, we're an asset to the platform. So whatever platform you are, and that's their rules, that's what I go by.
Meaning what, Rick? Meaning if you're at your show and you don't allow sealed bags and featherweight, but the next man does, you're meaning like that?
Yeah, like, all right, so say for instance, SOS featherweight is sealed bags. You go to another platform, is non-sealed bags, but it's still featherweight. Does that throw the calibration of your brain or expectations off? Because I see people oftentimes say the platforms, I think from maybe trying to fall into a class, I don't even think it confuses people because no matter where you go, there's a place for you to sign your name. So from a judging aspect, I'll stay on point. Does it distract you guys when you hear featherweight, but you're like, oh, this is not an SOS featherweight. This is another platform's featherweight. Is that hurt?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Maybe for a builder, it's less likely to bother you because I know what a strong featherweight with non-sealed bags with me tighten them as tight as I can is going to sound like. I know what a bike with sealed bags is going to sound like. So it doesn't bother me if I go somewhere and I know that, there's two different platforms.
Okay.
You're still listening to music,
Right.
EDROCK's back.
EDROCK?
Yeah, phone cut off and compressor went on.
It's all good. The question is, shows not having universal classes, does it affect your ability to judge?
No.
Okay.
No.
Serge, did you answer?
Oh, I answered in the beginning. No, it doesn't affect my ability to judge.
Likewise, it doesn't have any effect. All right, last thing, guys, and we're gonna let the people go.
What's next?
My extreme bike. Hey, when I say extreme, I'm talking stunt walls, baby. No,
Is it gonna be purple?
Hey,
what do you say?
Is it gonna be purple?
Oh, damn. See,
what's next meaning, guys, in judging? What would you like to see happen, Tifo?
I really like to have the respect of an appropriately sized ring without distractions. And very honestly speaking, if there was emphasis put on it to be deliberate in that, absolutely my favorite place was Joey's Grudge Fest, where it was completely and he made sure he didn't want anybody in that ring. You could walk 15 minutes around the bikes if you want to and not touch anything or anybody.
So I have a question. I got a question for you, T-Funk.
Yeah.
A little earlier, you said that you walked outside of the ring to judge a bike. So when we're judging bikes, it's my belief that we're judging the bikes in the area that we were given to judge that bike for the best sound in the area.
Yeah.
So coming up with a certain sized ring that meets the criteria across the board, I think is great. And we also all have to know we have to judge in that ring. So earlier you said you walked far away and you judged the bike. How do you judge from that far? How do you do that?
Well, because I understand what 415 sound like, and I know what it sounds like up close. And there's really nobody speaks to that. That's gray area. That may be something we think about. And I want to give the best version or my best ear to that bike and do them a due diligence. And so when those bikes get big, you can almost tell I'm paying attention to the bike itself. And if I have to walk away to here, if that note comes all the way out, is the same way on the bike as it goes out there. In my mind, it's in phase because I hear a lot of them that are off. You walk 5 feet away from the bike, it falls off very sharply. So if I had the space and I don't have to go behind other people to do that, I'm within my allotted space to judge the bike.
You guys have seen the places that we do these shows at, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the perfect world and the real world, we may have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm way. I can't complain about it. It's part of doing business now, if you would.
Now I will say this. We have to be careful with saying, or in my opinion, I'm not going to tell the SOS judges. So get this out of your head for the SOS. If I give you a specific boundary to judge within, then that's going to come down to that part on your scoring, on your criteria of volume control. So I keep hearing what's the new term? Send it. Yeah. All right. In order for you to send it, that's going to send judges across the parking lot. In order to, I can speak to that. Munir's bike was absolutely too loud for that space.
Oh boy!
When I walked past the side of the bike, it hurt. I told him that. I told a lot of people, can we push back? That's why I was so adamant about that, Ricky. I couldn't get away from it.
All of them were too. All of the bikes.
But what do I do? So I got to give you my best.
Oh, you have to work with you. Hey, it's the part of your job environment, and you guys did a great job doing so. But hearing this, I'm like, okay, you know what has to happen, and nobody wants to hear this. When those big bikes play, there can be no square. There has to be a runway, and everybody got to think about it. Really, spectators need to line up all the way down the lines, and that front and back door should be damn near
wide open.
Wide open. That's the first way that, but then you lose the entertainment value for the crowd. So now you see from a promoter standpoint, where's the equal median? Do we make the rectangle bigger? Do we tell those guys that had those bikes where the tents were, hey, break those tents down, and I want the people to line up straight down to the wall, and then you should be lined up across the wall on this end. The people, I'm just speaking on Bagger Nationals. When the extremes come, move those tents and those bikes that are in front of the ring, move those out and make that the whole ring. That the promoters, that throws us a prime example. You guys had an entire racetrack to judge the Destroyer, Tsunami, and Zeus.
And right? I used it too. I was damn near the 8th mile.
I saw walk all the way up past the water box to the top of the hill was T-Funk. And I will say to this day, if y'all are trying to tell me that Zeus outpowered the Destroyer on this racetrack, y'all have lost your mind.
Nope.
And if they weren't going to do what you did, T-Funk, and there was no need for us to go on that racetrack, Joey had a great idea, but the judges did not take advantage of it. And they stood on top of it. And I'm like, T-Funk walked all the way up Dagner to the snack stand. Who was one of us coming to the racetrack if we weren't going to utilize the space?
Yeah. It's bad because I find myself doing the same shit. I will be. Why do I need to be right up on a bike? Like, and people behind me, I can't see. What are you looking for? All you got to do is listen. But they want to see. I can't see. But I go to the drag strip. We come from this world. The bike can be doing a burnout. Why do I need to stand right there where I'm inhaling the smoke? You know what I'm saying? It's habit.
Because it's the entertainment value of it, man.
Yeah.
It's the hype, it's the culture, and I get it. I understand where the people want to be. Everybody wants to capture that moment and feel a part of it. But we just gotta find an equal median so we don't do a disservice to the judges and the guys compete. That's all. We gotta work together on making it work. That's it. So I think what's next is I really enjoyed. Oh, hold on, let me bring Pop back on. Yo, Pop rock. Sorry about that. You was hiding down in the corner.
I was in the backstage. I was like,
hey, see, that's what it was doing me. It says the host got you hidden behind stage. I said, oh shit, I'm gonna come out some cameras.
I really, really enjoyed this, fellas. I think we had a spirited debate. Like I said before, I respect you guys for coming on. We may do this again on some other topics. So, and bring some other people on and talk about some issues that come up on Facebook. And I want us to start being solution based to see how we can make this better. But you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Chief Funk or judging your program, what you're doing, man. Keep doing it. We had a spirited debate, and I wanted to ask you some hard questions based on what we see online to give you an opportunity to get it out. And I see you taking notes. So me knowing how you are, you're going to go back and do some studying and whatnot. And I'm here to help or do whatever I can, man, and make this whole culture better. So I just thank you guys, man. I really
appreciate you bringing me on.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate it also, man.
I think this hot seat is good in all aspects of the motorcycle community, culture, industry, whatever everybody calls it, something different. It's good to have a hot seat. I think it's good if you did a hot seat for builders or
I agree.
Our manufacturers. We are always the middleman because you know why? Yeah. You got your customer, you got me, then you got that vendor, you got that person you're waiting on those bags for. Get all of those bag manufacturers together at the same time and let the people ask them questions because the people want to ask questions. They never do though.
Oh, they asked
you
you all
Scott.
the questions
That was
in the
good.
world.
They asked.
I have a great topic, man. I would like to talk about. I constantly see pictures of people's work, the bird's nest, the bad welds, the missed lead times. I know all of you guys on here, so we ain't gonna lie. Everybody on here got some I love you stories. Everybody been cussed out by a customer. All of you. So if you lie, I get the phone calls.
Yeah.
What I would really like to see, and again, if I could be a help for the solution, part of what is the industry standard? The automotive industry, whether you're driving a Mercedes or a Toyota or a Kia, there's some level of standards. Now, with that standard, you have different brands. Now, whether your shop is a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, or Kia, that's up to you to establish your brand and your brand value. But what is the industry standard? What is a good wire job? What is a good fiberglass job? I see so many professionals tearing down other professionals. Did that guy do it that way because he just don't know? Or is that his best, but not the industry best? Because I think if we come up with some type of standard, and it's so many of you professionals, won't y'all get together on a group chat off of this and try to establish some standards? Hey, get a a custom bike builder association. And
no, that's your job now.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Your job now.
You
yeah,
gotta do it.
you open this up, player. It's you now.
Seriously, like have builder conferences where
with you,
with you, talk about, shit.
Yeah, with you, right in the middle.
But you honestly hear what I'm saying, because the only person we don't suffer. Well, when we meaning you guys, they gonna spend the money. It's been proven these people love this so much they will pay for poop.
The customers suffered over it.
And it's not fair, man. It's not fair for the customers. Just like y'all, I hear builders say, "Man, I'm working hard." Well, these people that's getting up every morning going to work, what you think they doing? Twiddling their thumbs. So let's. That's what kills the industry. Not a score, not T-Funk score sheet, not Rickie Will. Shout out to Sound Digital and Bama. Not my paddles. Not Joey's walk to him. The people are so frustrated by the time they get to the ring that these judges and these promoters, we getting the end result of, damn, I finally got my bike. Whew, damn, I lost. Yo, man, let's try to ease the blow through this whole thing. All right. I'm not saying we ain't wrong on some of our things we can improve, but y'all want to save the industry? Let me see some of the builders step up and let's get something going. And hey, man, tag me in. I'm down to help. I ain't saying I gotta run it, but I'm down to help.
The industry is too relaxed, meaning, and every builder on here, I can tell you, every one of you guys have had this happen. The worst thing, and you couldn't do this 7 years ago, your normal Joe can call and talk to the person you bought parts from.
Absolutely.
And get in your business, hey, what's the lead time on this? Why are you even talking to them? If you bought stuff from me, why are you going behind my back to call someone to talk to my vendor? You know what I mean?
But Joey, devil's advocate on that. I ordered bags from Geo. My buddy ordered bags from Joey. Same day. I got my bags from Geo 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Joey never called then, and I'm just saying, I'm gonna say Joe Blow because I don't want to put that on you.
Yeah.
Joe Blow vendor never called in and paid their invoice.
Yeah, exactly. I've been there, seen that.
You're floating money. I get it.
I've seen that many times.
So you kind of got to do your due diligence if you don't want to end up in a washing machine in a spin cycle for 7 weeks. And you call the person like, yo, Joey, what's your name? No, Joey, I sent them an invoice. Oh, these are your parts.
Yeah.
So everybody got to do their part. So the manufacturers don't want to get hung out there like they're doing the wrong thing, like they're ineffective in doing their job.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Used to, you couldn't get a owner of a shop on the phone as far as you didn't see many builders. Back in my day with me coming up, I was in the 09, from 09 to about the 14 days was it was crazy. You never, ever would see most of these guys on social media
at all.
Talk to them on the phone.
No.
Now it's so free. It's like John Schoch. You never 10 years ago would talk to him. Not a chance.
He wouldn't answer you online.
No. Now I can FaceTime him right now and join him into this group. It don't matter.
He be on here freaking the bird off. Hey, Joe, I didn't meet Yankee.
Badass, man.
I didn't meet Yankee officially until Atlantic City Easy Rider. Yeah. He spoke with you and he said, who's the guy doing the sound show in Philly?
Yeah. And
I got there and that's how I met Paul because I was now in the industry. Before that, you took a picture with a poster at an Easy Rider show.
Yeah.
Like everybody, now everybody's a celebrity.
Yeah, yeah.
You win a couple sound shows, now you a celebrity. You the top builder. Ain't won a nickel, but you a celebrity because Facebook has many.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we know?
Hey, when I met Serge, when we did King of Pressure show, when you brought this up earlier about drop-in boxes, we wasn't doing nothing like that. And when I saw that on Serge's wall, I said, "What is that?" He said, "It's got a 10 and you drop it in." I said, My homeboy Rob was with me. I said, man, he's a fucking genius. We wouldn't use that shit for nothing right now, but
nothing
then
at
I was
all.
like, damn.
If he we'd be rich.
He had all
Rock for
kinds of
making
cool
them
stuff on the walls. Yeah.
That
So,
was the good
man,
old days.
We're going to next time we talk, we going to come up with some solutions. Maybe want you guys on this takeaway, and any builder on here listening, man, don't take an ego approach to it. I respect what all you builders are doing some phenomenal things. Can we come up with an industry standard? Can we get a group chat? Can we meet up at a show and go to breakfast and sit down at a table and talk about it? Can we put together some kind of conference where we had things? Hey, I got a whole mall in November.
Whole mall.
Yeah, whole mall. It's beautiful. T-Funk, I hope to see you there. You know, send me your rider. Let me know what your financial requirements are. I'll go in my piggy bank and see if I can make it happen. EDROCK, Geo, Serge, Joey, you guys are formally invited. But yeah, man, whatever I can do, and if you guys want to come and teach or do a seminar, we do a panel. I think that people, they like this. If we're gonna be up close and personal and have this with the industry, let's make it worth something, guys.
This live right here, is this going to be on? This is on your page or Team Money page?
It's on my personal page. It's on YouTube. It's on the Team Money page, and you can share it to your page as well. Okay,
so people can leave comments under here what they want to see the next topic about. You know, you could do like a poll.
Yes. Yeah. I can make it happen. Keep talking.
Maybe a good idea to let your not so, I don't know how to word this,
popular.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe let them come on, you know, and do a panel of randoms.
I'm good
for
with
their
that.
experiences, you know. You never know. You're gonna have some good stuff, you'll have some bad stuff.
Hey man, I'll talk to some rookies in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody got a voice now. You know, let's get on here and talk. Somebody's saying song selection. They want me to play. They want me to talk about playlists so bad. So we'll save that for part 2.
Yeah.
But real quick, because DeMarcus is going to drop. DeMarcus, will you knock it off?
Streeter will go at it.
Yes or no? I just want to real quick so I can help DeMarcus out. I've been picking on DeMarcus lately. Serge, yes or no?
Yep.
Does it bother you when you keep hearing the same song at shows? Yes or no?
Yeah, sometimes it gets annoying.
Geo, yes or no? Does it bother you when you keep hearing the same song?
Yes.
All right. Let me go back. But does it affect the way you're going to judge that bike?
No.
All right, cool. See, EDROCK, does it affect or bother you when you hear the same song?
Let me tell you something. Audio Concept, they all got the same playlist, and they played for 3 years in a row. But you know what? They came to win, so they don't care. They're not here to please the crowd, nobody. They're there to win. And you know what? They've been winning. So, doesn't affect me.
Hey, listen, it came up on one guy's screen. It said, like, competition playlist. I said, okay. Hey, man, it's plan and execution. T-Funk, does it bother you or affect the way you judge when you keep hearing the same song?
Yes. Because some of these people don't realize it doesn't sound as good as other bikes, but yet they play it. You know, sometimes we used to have back in the day, if you only play that same song if you knew you could beat that guy with the song.
Yes.
Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Joey.
Used to, the only time you would hear another song is if you had to do a jab at somebody.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was a strategy to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now is it, hey, I'm gonna be lazy and just Shazam all the such and such songs.
Copy and paste.
You 5 years ago, you play a same song somebody else did. It's like, oh shit, he's getting ready to bring it. You know, you went in there with a bigger one. You know, But now it ain't like that.
Earl still plays his songs. Earl the Pearl. Fish fry.
Listen, between
He'll play 5 songs in a minute and a half.
Earl is
And
part
cut
2.
it off at the bass drop. When it's the vocals about to turn on, he cuts it off. And then asks, why did I win that rock?
He said, the heck with the transition. He just in there, bang, bang. And then when he get done, he look at the judges like, I wish I would.
You can lead the horse to the water.
Hey, look, we've been on here for 2 hours, guys. The people stayed on. We're gonna jump off. Let's make it a point. Don't jump off when I cut it off. We'll still be in the studio behind the scenes. I just wanted to talk to you guys for 2 seconds. But thank you guys once again. Surge, Xotic.
Thank you.
Philadelphia, Geo, Elite Custom Motorcycle and Audio, New Jersey.
Thank you, bro.
EDROCK Pop-Up Customs, New York. T-Funk, Beats, Bags, Bass, / 5-star judging / retired Army / the man that does
Snap on, man.
Snap on.
And Joey the OG Hensley from Backyard Baggers. Thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. I'm Rickie Will, Team Money Cycles. This is another episode of. Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question.
We are in peace.
Peace.